What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and we've got more updates for you on gas stimulus checks, and it looks like it's going to be needed, as we heard from President Joe Biden yesterday, and he announced that there's need for more spending. He said he's going to be doing supplemental assistance requests to Congress, a fancy way of saying we need to get more funding out, and this is going to be helping with the war in Ukraine, which is continuing on, which likely means more inflation, more high gas prices and food prices, and we're hearing Congress is saying it's going to be a need for more gas stimulus checks. And like I said, I've got an update for you on that as well. So, gonna get you caught up on the latest. This is your breaking news stimulus check update, stimulus package update. And you guys take a look at the headlines coming out. Like I said, I've got the video footage for you. Biden emphasizes a need to keep arming Ukraine in tour of Alabama weapons plant. And he said that they need to send out more money. We heard the president request $33 billion in more funding to help aid Ukraine. Also, we heard Democrats are trying to tie that to an additional $10 billion for assistance for vaccines and therapeutics fighting the new wave of the pandemic that is hitting the United States right now. Now, in addition to that, like I said, we've got an update on gas stimulus checks. Congress has already put out 4 of them, and we're hearing that there are 2 that are starting to surface and people think might make its way through Congress. And that is, take a look, you could either get your next check for $240 per year or $100 per month. And of course, I think the majority of people would like the $100 per month. But I'm going to get you caught up on these, you guys. This is the latest coming out right now, as of today, May 4th, on stimulus. So let's go ahead and dive right in and get you caught up on the latest. But before we do, also wanted to mention the second channel, Steve Ram Finance. More content coming, and I uploaded a highly requested video on cryptocurrency for those interested on when is the next peak going to be coming, how high are cryptos going to be going, which ones should you invest in. Check out that channel if you missed that video. Other good content on there for those interested in growing wealth and personal finance. But with that being said, you guys, let's dive into the latest on stimulus. And before we do, though, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second, don't forget, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps me out a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments. Share this out if you think it could help out other people. If this is your first time here and you'd like to stay up to date, totally free, so why not? Come join the Ram fam, smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. I'll keep you up to date on stimulus checks on a federal level. Also, if you missed my last video, I'll let you know about state checks, city checks, county checks, everything going on so you know what's available, and in many cases, you have to apply. And I want to make sure that none of my viewing community miss out on anything, that you are aware of everything going on so that way you can get what's available to you. And also, if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. All you got to do is hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, let's dive into the video footage and the articles, get you caught up on the latest that's unfolding right now on more stimulus.
And every worker in this facility and every American taxpayer is directly contributing to the case for freedom. And that's something we can all be incredibly proud of, in my view. Last week, I sent Congress, if you excuse a point of personal privilege, talking like an old senator, but sent a supplemental budget, a fancy way of saying we need more money, to make sure the United States can continue to send weapons directly to the front lines of freedom in Ukraine, and to continue to provide economic and humanitarian assistance to help the Ukrainian people. And I urge the Congress to pass this funding quickly to help Ukraine continue to succeed against Russian aggression, just as they did when they won the Battle of Kyiv. And to make sure the United States and our allies can replenish our own stocks of weapons to replace what we've sent to Ukraine. As I said from the beginning, this fight is not going to be cheap. But caving to aggression would even be more costly. We either back the Ukrainian people as they defend their country, or we stand by as Russia continues its atrocities and aggression. I know what the answer is, and I think you all do too. I'll bet I know what the answer to this plan is. There's something else here that to be understood. Being the arsenal of democracy also means good-paying jobs for American workers. In Alabama and the states all across America where defense equipment is manufactured and assembled, 265 people here at this plant are directly employed working on the Javelin program. All told, Lockheed Martin has brought nearly 3,000 jobs to Alabama. The armed forces of the United States of America are going to continue to be the best armed, most capable fighting force in the history of the world. In order to do that, we have to make sure our vital defense supplies are getting the inputs and supplies they need to produce and protect and provide the full capacity.
So there you have it, you guys. That was President Joe Biden yesterday saying that there is more stimulus assistance needed to go out to Ukraine. He is requesting $33 billion in additional aid. And we're going to be seeing what unfolds here because, as you know, I've shared with you here on the channel, things are not slowing down with Russia and Ukraine. And we're hearing that May 9th is going to be a pivotal day for the war that's taking place, as it's likely that Russia is going to be declaring official war, announcing their victory and pushing forward even more so, intensifying things. Things are not slowing down. And as I've let you know here on the channel, globally, economically, this is hurting everybody with this war that's taking place. And it's very likely that the inflation that's at record highs, the gas prices, the food prices, all of these are not going to be slowing down anytime soon as this war progresses. And we're hearing that Congress here in the United States is saying they're likely going to be needing to provide some form of legislation or assistance to help out people, more direct payments. And that is why there are requests for gas stimulus checks. We're also hearing that there are requests for an assortment of different provisions, and these are being requested on federal levels. I'm going to get you caught up on that right now. And if you missed my last videos, as I mentioned, also states, counties, cities, they're all starting to provide different forms of gas stimulus checks if it's within their budget to help out residents. Now, here is the latest that's been coming out, you guys. There have been 4 bills that have been proposed, and we're hearing 2 of them starting to get a little bit of traction. And here's an article that just came out today. Could your next check be for $240 per year or $100 per month? And I think the vast majority of people would prefer $100 per month. Now, gas prices have been surging nationwide, with a national average price of gas at $4.19 per gallon compared to $2.90 per gallon just last year. Higher gas prices have been wreaking havoc on household budgets, and lawmakers have taken notice. Because of the rapidly increasing cost of gas, multiple legislative proposals have been created that would offer financial relief. The assistance that these plans would provide varies dramatically, though, with some suggestions for stimulus aid appearing much more generous than others. And like I said, most people would probably prefer monthly reoccurring checks. Here's what you need to know about the 2 possible plans that are being offered to help out the public in dealing with high gas prices at the pump. These are 2 proposals for stimulus checks. Now, as I mentioned, there are currently 4. This article is going to be covering 2 that seem to be gaining in popularity. Now, one of the stimulus check plans put forth is by Democratic Representative Khanna and Sheldon Whitehouse and is called the Big Oil Windfall Profits Tax. This legislation would impose a tax on oil companies, charging them 50% of the difference between today's prices and the pre-pandemic prices on a barrel of oil. Based on the current prices, this legislation would result in oil companies paying an added tax of $45 billion. Now, the new tax on the oil companies would be paid and distributed amongst taxpayers, with single filers getting around $240 annually and married joint filers getting about $360 per depositor in the bank accounts sent via check. Although this would provide some relief, the help it offers pales in comparison to another stimulus check proposal known as the Gas Rebate Act of 2022. Now, this act was introduced by Democratic Representative Mike Thomas, John Larson, and Lauren Underwood, and it would provide $100 per month per adult and dependent during any month where the average gas price topped over $4 per gallon. The $100 payment would be available through the rest of 2022. So, much more generous in this particular one. If you have a household with, say, 4 people, that's $100 per person, $400 per month throughout the rest of the year, as long as the gas prices are over $4 per gallon. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, you guys, but those are 2 that are currently picking up traction right now. Now, the questions that everybody wants to know: what is the likelihood of this coming to fruition, and when would it come to fruition if it does come to fruition? Well, the article says, will either plan come to fruition? Well, both of these proposals would provide more money in the pockets of people, but you'll need to be very careful about considering the likelihood of either of these being passed or signed into law. So, as you know here on the channel, I keep you up to date on everything going on. I share with you the facts of what's unfolding. So they're saying, just take into consideration that we will see if these come to fruition. Nothing is firm yet. Currently, each of these plans have been put forward by Democrats only. They are not bipartisan. Democrats have the slim majority in the House and the Senate, and it will be difficult for them to get more stimulus legislation passed without Republican support. So, it looks like right now it is not bipartisan. That means through the process of reconciliation, they would have to push this through. Now, the question is, in the Senate, are they going to be able to get those moderate senators on board like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema to pass more gas stimulus checks? Well, we've heard Joe Manchin say that he's okay with more spending as long as it is paid for and does not add to the debt. So, they're able to compile, say, $100 per person with legislation that would also be paid for, but maybe taxing the oil companies. then it could be a possibility. But if not, then, as we've heard from progressives, the only way, and they're pushing for this, would be for President Joe Biden to issue executive orders and executive actions for more gas stimulus checks. Now, when would this all likely take place? Well, as you know, the midterm elections are going to be coming up in November, and it is very likely, and we've heard that this is the plan forward, is that as we get closer to those, Democrats are going to be picking up the pace, making progress on legislation, proposals, trying to get things done to remind voters to keep them in power, and trying to get things through to help out people with direct assistance payments. Now, we will see, but that is the plan that they have set in place, and I will keep you up to date. So you guys, that is the latest, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think that more stimulus is needed? Do you think that all of this additional spending, whether it's for Ukraine or for direct payments, gas stimulus checks, is going to be helping, or is it going to be hurting more so, as we are dealing with record high inflation right now? The Federal Reserve is supposed to make an announcement today on the increase in interest rates to try to slow things down with inflation, which means that, well, if you have adjustable rates, you might want to fix them right away, because those rates are going to start going up, and we're likely going to be seeing this affecting credit cards, housing, across the board. The Federal Reserve is going to be impacting our economy here with their announcement today. Now, we will see. I will keep you up to date here on the channel. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. And if you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for me. Helps out the channel a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments. Love hearing your thoughts. Share this out if you think it could help out other people. If this is your first time here and you'd like to stay up to date, totally free, come join the Bram fam. Smash the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell. I share all my sources, read right from the articles so you know it's the latest. And also, if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, and consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.